Hello everyone. I'm sorry for the change in audio quality. I decided that I want to record as soon as possible because my birthday is in a few days and I need to get all these videos done soon, so streamlining everything as quickly as possible is the only way I can do this. So the last video, I talked about Cerulean, which was my first original story that I made on my own. And then at the end I was like, hey, if all things go well, then, you know, I could talk about the first story I made in general, like the first ever original story. That was made by me and a few other friends, so like 2 other friends. One of them already gave me permission, and the other one I asked for permission, and she was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't care. So I'm gonna try my best, and if you guys are watching this, yell at me in the comments if I get anything wrong. My memory of my childhood isn't good, so there are gonna be things I get wrong or I just don't remember. I don't know exactly when this story happened, what caused it. I think we were in 4th grade. So basically as a child, I wanted to be a magical girl. So during 4th grade, it was me, I shouldn't actually say their names. I'm gonna call them, let's call one of them Violet and then the other one Orchid, because, you know, flowers. I like unique names, so those 2 are getting those names. It was me, Violet and Orchid. I knew Orchid since childhood. Our sisters were friends, and our parents were friends, so I knew Orchid like since I was a baby, basically. Well, not since I was a baby, but you know what I mean. I always wanted to talk to Violet, but I always was scared, so I guess because we had class together or something, or like Orchid started talking to her, I, by association of Orchid, started talking to Violet, which was really nice. Yeah. I got to know her. And then, you know how when you're a kid, you go play on the playground? I don't know what sparked us to pretend we're superheroes, but that happened. And so we were like, hey, let's roleplay. Let's do live action roleplay. Let's LARP. We didn't actually call it LARP, but that's basically what it was. It was a make-believe game. And we were like, okay, what's our superhero group name? And we came up with Supergirls. Very cheesy, very unoriginal. But it was cute, and I have really fond memories running around on the playground, just pretending to be superheroes. I was Fire Girl, obviously. I had fire powers. But I will admit I was a little S-word, and I made myself overpowered. So it's like when I talk about Cerulean in this story, I just realized how much of like self-inserty Mary Sue I was, and I'm so happy I got that out of my system when I did, because all my OCs now are just so much better than how they used to be. And like even the new OCs, I'm just like, wow, I went through this phase, but now I don't. So that's fun. So yeah, I was Fire Girl. Violet was Pet Girl, so she can shape shift into animals, whether they be animals that exist or not. And then Orchid wanted to be Ice Girl, so she has like ice powers. But another friend of mine joined us and she became Nature Girl, which prompted Orchid to change her powers to Vampire Girl. Because of what happened with me and said Nature Girl, since we're not friends anymore, we left on bad terms. She's not gonna be a part of the remake, so I'm just not gonna go into that much because I don't want to drag her character in the ground. I do not want to drag her in the ground, so yeah. I'm just gonna be talking about me, Violet, and Orchid. So yeah, just know that there was a 4th person, but due to situations of what happened in middle school, I do not want to talk about it. the beginning of the plot was we were all friends, and my character, Fire Girl, her parents own a magic shop, and that on the day that this is all taking place, a new magic shop has opened, and my character was like, hey, can we check this place out? Because, like, I want to check out my parents' competition. So everyone's like, yeah, sure, we'll check out on the way to so yeah, we go to the shop, and the shopkeeper's like, yo, don't touch anything. If you want something, you have to tell me, and all that jazz. But my character's like, no, I'm gonna touch stuff because I know what I'm doing. I live in a magic shop. So me, Orchid, and Violet touched these necklaces that have like the different elements that we were on it, and the necklaces disappeared from the shop and ended up in our bags because they're now contracted to be with us, and we're now responsible to defeat bad guys, and that was basically the plot. And then when we were growing up, we kind of were in that phase where like, oh, there needs to be a love interest, because, you know. So me and my Powerpuff Girl brain was like, how will we have like this boy counterparts with the same exact powers? And they were like, yeah, sure, cool. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I kept them in the remake, but let's ignore that, please. So yeah, then we didn't really touch it after middle school for a while, because due to like in middle school we didn't really play that much because we were grown-ups, we were teenagers, but we still kept the story in our mind to the point where we made Facebook groups of it, and I made some fan art, which was, and claimed the bases as my own, because, you know, I was a child and I didn't know the concept of stealing bases. So yeah, if you guys want to use the bases that I used as a kid, I'll put them in the description, because I feel horrible claiming this for my own and I want to repent for it. Then I made a few animations for this, and then there was the pony phase, which I'm not gonna talk about as much, but there was a pony phase. I'm not gonna talk about the pony phase, by the way, because that was more Violet and Orchid's thing, because they were into My Little Pony, which I don't judge. That was some cool fan art right there, and the story Violet wrote was so good. Then there was the story phase, because during middle school, I think I mentioned this in my Cerulean video, but in middle school I was starting to write fan fiction. I wrote actual stories for these characters because I was oh god. So by this time I was into the Kaguro Project, or Mega City Actors, or whatever you want to call it. And if you guys don't know, that anime / manga has a song telling the stories, like the different different timelines of the events that happen in the manga, light novel, anime. And I was basing the Supergirls off of Summertime Record / Yuki Yesterday, and oh my god, what is his name? It was the guy in the red, his Lost Time Memory, I think it was called. I was using those as reference. Oh, and Mari's song, I forgot. Invisible Forest, I think it was called. Basically I was using those songs to base a story on for these girls, and the story was this story, at least. Like, I didn't make the magical girls in it. I think it was just they already had powers, so they're all friends, and then the opposite versions of us. I actually forgot what their names were, which is honestly kind of bad. I should have done a bit more research, because like I just remembered that this story existed. I know my guy was Liam. Anyway, long story short, the guy versions of us were actually friends, like out of villainy costume, and my character was just this like loner type character, because you know Simba is, and that was really bad. Yeah, and then we kind of stopped again. The Facebook groups died, and then what else? What other versions of this can I remember from the top of my head that I feel like because we all had our own versions of the original story, that putting, like, as we grew up, putting them together didn't really make sense anymore, so we really stopped talking about the Supergirls and all that stuff.